Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. Quick little PSA before we start this reaction. I accidentally watched episode 4 of this season before I watched episode 3. And let me tell you, when I am the biggest moron alive, like, I was so confused. I spent the entirety of watching episode 4 literally just thinking, like, man, it feels like we skipped an episode. And I checked mid-episode. I was like, am I on the right episode? And I just didn't realize that I was supposed to be watching episode 3. And so, like, I was just so confused. I was like, man, I feel like I missed an entire episode's worth of events. And I even go on like an extended little analysis afterwards where I'm like, maybe it was just like a stylistic choice. Like I legit thought this was just like a choice that the showrunners or Netflix was making, and that they were just like, you know what, we're gonna move on from whatever happened previously, and we're just gonna skip ahead. You know, I thought it was just an interesting design editing decision that they chose to go with, not realizing that I'm just a moron. And so I literally, like, I edited and uploaded my reaction to episode 4, and I didn't realize that I was supposed to be watching episode 3 until I was literally like making the thumbnail and changing the title of the video, and I was like, well, hold on. Because I went to find the previous video that I had posted for Young Royals. I was like, okay, I'm gonna copy and paste, you know, the formatting stuff. And then I was like, hold on, the last Young Royals video that I posted was episode 2. What happened to episode 3? And then I was like, oh, frick. So I don't know if that makes this specific video, and I guess next video, unappealing to watch, because for the majority of this episode I'm gonna like be aware of what happens in this episode and next episode. And then when you watch next episode's reaction, it's literally just gonna be me for an hour being like, I'm so confused, what is going on? Like, oh man. So if that's a little PSA. So if you're watching this video, I mean, if you're someone who skipped this part and you're just like, wow, this guy seems like he already watched this episode, it's because I kind of almost did. But otherwise, you know, I think that might mean that I just make a lot more jokes in this episode than I would otherwise, because I don't have to like pay attention as much, if that makes sense, to pick up what's happening in the context, because I feel like a lot of that context of events that happened in this episode were explained in next episode. But either way, we're gonna have fun with it. So yeah. Also, that probably means there won't be like a significant like 10 to 20 minute discussion after this, because, you know, what's the point? But no, we're gonna jump right into this episode. Before we do that, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here or find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more of Young Royals. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, or you just want to support me in general, consider supporting me on Patreon. That would mean the world as well. That's linked in the description down below. But otherwise, let's jump into season 2, episode 3 of Young Royals.
And letting go when you breathe out. Breathe in.
Australian therapists helping the future king of Sweden. August, why do you run weird, brother? You run like you're in The Sims.
Straffvärdet oavsett fängelse.
That's a big yikes. Yeah, prison. But good thing, prison in Sweden and Norway and other Scandinavian countries is apparently way cooler than prison in the United States. Like, it's like a dorm room.
Handlar det här om den här skandalvideon?
It is indeed, brother. I don't like this kid. This new head boy is a butthole.
Så vad fan är August någonstans?
August is becoming the future ruler of this country.
Nivån är så jävla låg.
Yeah, Simon, you kind of suck at this, brother. Why do you want to be on this rowing team?
Okej boys, då går vi på maskinerna.
Okej.
Blir du också?
Ja, han tycker inte jag platsar i laget i alla fall.
You arguably don't. You cheated in the conditioning test.
Det är Ville. Det verkar som att han vill snacka.
She wants to make out.
Kom igen, byt!
Ooh, extra practice.
Kom igen då, byt!
Det är fett hungrig, det är fett kallt.
Högre! Kom igen, högre!
Okay. He's trying. He's trying to improve.
Det var ju du som ville träna på din kondis för roddlaget. Det blir inte bättre av att sitta här och såsa.
Varför kör du ens rodd?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Why does he do it?
Alltså han är fett fin och allting, men det
But he's not Wilhelm.
känns bara som att han gillar mig på riktigt.
Okej, och du gör inte det, eller?
No, he does not. He absolutely still has the hots for my boy Willie.
Jag vet att det borde vara okej att han träffar andra. Jag vet att det borde kännas okej, men det gör ju inte det. Det går ju inte att känna så.
It is what it is, brother. So I'm guessing in this episode he makes out with him in front of Willie. Based on dialogue from next episode.
Tack Boris.
It's not that serious, brother.
Tja. Ska du inte till sossen? Ja, men han är typ helt okej ändå alltså. Fast det vet du i och för sig. Erik gick till honom också. Alltså...
Ooh, that'll help him see the therapist if he knows his brother saw him.
Men se till om du snackar. Vi ses sen.
That might have just changed his whole outlook on this therapist if his brother saw him.
But det har han liksom alltid sagt att vi ska hålla det privata privat.
I mean, well, it is kind of private if it's with a therapist. It's not really like talking to someone else who might theoretically spread it around. If the therapist spreads it around, he loses his job.
Det känns ensamt.
Especially if it's like a royal. You can't just spread that around. You'll never work again.
Också. Erik.
I like that he's opening up now, though.
Och sen förra terminen så träffade jag en vän som väckte nya känslor hos mig. Det var liksom bättre att inte veta hur det kan kännas.
Dang.
Alla böcker är från sent
That's tough, you know? Better to not know that pain than feel it.
Varför sa du att du inte känner Marcus? Jag sa det. Men inte att ni hänger. Och om det är någonting mellan er kan du bara säga det.
Just tell him the truth, brother.
Vi hänger.
That's all you needed to know.
Okej. Det var väl inte så svårt. Vi är inte tillsammans. Det har ingenting med det att göra egentligen, men det är inte det.
I mean, you kind of are at this point. Like, at this episode. You're, like, loosely together. They're not, like, officially together. But, like, at this point, they're, like, loosely dating. sweetest song, singing to Wilhelm. Can't be rewritten in Swedish. Oh yeah, last episode I accidentally said they were in Norway. I corrected myself like 2 seconds later. I don't know if I kept that in the YouTube edit though, but people were mad. Because Sweden and Norway are separate countries.
Forna dagar, flydda år. De säger till, läker alla sår. Forna dagar, flydda år.
Nothing can rewrite the time we had, singing songs in Swedish.
Själv, helt jävla lost innan jag hittar hem.
You can't drop the F word in the song. She won't let you.
Har du skrivit den själv?
No doubt.
Den är bra.
But you can't drop the
Vi
F
får
word.
ta bort svordomen och sen måste vi
Ja.
ha fillerska någonstans så att folk förstår att det handlar om skolan. Det är därför du är här, Simon. Du har talang.
Yeah, I've been knowing that since day one. You can't drop the F-bomb in the school song.
Vincent.
Wow. This kid's an asshole. This kid is the biggest garbage person alive. I hate Vincent. Vincent's my new least favorite character.
Hej! Hur är du?
Jag vill bara prata lite. Du, skulle du kunna kanske komma hem? Eller komma till mig ikväll?
Do you think you could come home
Varför då?
to make out and stuff? And bone?
Jag behöver bara prata.
He wants to talk to you, open up emotionally, and then touch your boobies.
Han ska träffa mig, please.
Alltså jag tror inte jag är redo för något seriöst. Jag tänkte att jag ville säga det.
Keep it cash. Just on the down low.
Okej, om inte du är redo.
Marcus will wait for you.
Det är lugnt.
Men jag vet inte när jag blir det.
Är det Wilhelm?
Yeah, 100%. No doubt. Pfft, don't lie.
Jag kommer aldrig såra dig.
Jag har inte sagt att jag tror att du skulle såra mig. Alltså, du är jättefin och
There's
snäll.
just a lot, man. It's a lot to open yourself up again. Especially when you still have feelings for that other person.
Jag vet att jag inte vill förstöra något som är så fint.
I know you don't want to destroy something this beautiful. That just seems like such a goofy line.
Jag har aldrig gjort det här förut.
Vadå för något?
Boning.
Ja, nej, jag menar inte så. Jag vill bara prata, typ.
Wow, okay, why am I hating this guy less and less?
Jag känner mig bara som världens värsta människa.
Ja. Om jag klarar det så klarar du det också.
Okay, now you're definitely gonna bone because you touched his bare arm. That's the first step to sex. Everyone knows. You can't touch someone's bare shoulder and expect not to bone. Okay. I previously hated these two together, and now I feel less antagonistic towards it. Like, they are like smiling and stuff. Like, this is a stark contrast to last season when he was just like boning Felice doggy style, like, and she's just sitting there lifelessly uninterested in the whole situation. But they both seem like actually happy that this is happening.
Sakta men säkert.
Vill du ha hjälp?
Nej, jag kan inte.
Kom in.
Brother, you unpackaged that rubber before you even took your pants off. What are you doing? That thing's gonna dry up. Little more intimate smooching.
Men jo, ska du inte duscha?
Nej, eller... jag gillar att lukta som honom.
Okay, weirdo.
Oh, which him is she talking about, though? The horse or August? We're gonna kill them all. So all these kids go to the same school, right? Like, they're not competing against a different school. Is that what I understand? Like, they're all from the same school. They're just like a different house, like Gryffindor versus Slytherin. Okay, they're on a screen. The glory. The respect of all their ancestors. I've heard rowing sucks. Like, these kids are coughing up blood after a competition. Especially if it's indoor when the air is dry. Like, I remember running some indoor track meets in high school and finishing a race and just coughing for like 2 straight hours. Oi, Vincent, get the frick back on. Oh, is that Simone's fault though? Yikeroons. Did we do it? No? We lost. Shucks, brothers. That's what happens when you have the 2 worst conditioned kids on your team compete.
Du är svinduktig ju. Nästa år så tar vi dem.
Ooh. We knew this happened. We knew this happened.
Det är för fan basic knowledge. Till och med en 3-åring fattar det. Alla vet det.
Varför skyller du på honom? Så jävla onödigt bara.
Men du vet ju hur viktig den här matchen var.
Det spelar ingen jävla roll.
It's not real. Tell him how it is,
Vet du vad,
August.
Vincent, jag hoppar av. Jag behöver inte ta det här.
Yeah, Vincent, you dumb bitch. Yo, Willie, you're the prince. Why are you rocking AirPods 1? You can't afford pros, brother? What's going on?
I can't help but feeling left behind.
Wilhelm, why do you only have 7 pictures on your phone?
This is for the lonely ones, the ones who go to bed and they just got no one.
This isn't a bad song.
Vad gör du här?
Crying? looking at the water and crying. Don't worry, August. It's a good thing. I'm rooting for you, brother. Why do I like this kid now? This is pissing me off. It's honestly upsetting me right now that I'm slowly rooting for August.
Jag går rakt på sak. Wilhelms beteende den här sista tiden har oroat hovet så till den grad att man känner sig nödgad att ha en reservplan.
And it's you, Chief.
Den reservplanen är i så fall du. Det innebär att du måste lägga om.
Så tacksam att drottningen vill ge mig den här chansen.
Ja, det är inte min idé, ska du veta.
Kan du bara hålla om mig?
Självklart.
They're gonna smooch, even though he doesn't want her. That's step one of kissing a girl. Playing with her hair. We Ben knew this was gonna happen. Oh, and I. Ooh. See, we know, with the context of next episode, why this is happening. See, he's just trying it. It's not working, though. Oh, my brother. You touching her boobies? Makes sense. They are large.
Ville, kom, vi ska pranka Granhult. Vi ska pranka Granhult som hämnd efter rodden. Förlåt, det var inte meningen att kockblocka någon så eller nu.
Didn't mean to cockblock. Yeah. That's a big yikes. It's a big yikes. But now we know. We know the context of next episode now. Episode 4, I'm watching, I'm like, people are talking about how they're making out. I was like, what? I was like, did I miss everything? What is going on? So, yes, now we are caught up on the big events of what went down, right? And I said this before the episode, or before the reaction, but just in case you're someone that skips the intro of things before the reaction, I accidentally watched episode 4 before I watched episode 3 because I'm a big dum-dum. I literally hit continue on Netflix. I just clicked continue. I didn't click the next. I didn't click on episode 4. I just hit continue, and it started playing the episode, and I was so confused. I was like, what? I was like, why am I like unaware that these things happened? Like, why are they just telling us about it and not showing it? Like, I feel like I talk about in the post-episode discussion for the next episode, I'm like, I feel like it would have made more sense to show us these events, but maybe they didn't have enough to like fill out a whole episode. I'm just so like most of the post-episode discussion for next week's or next episode's reaction is kind of useless, so you can probably ignore most of it. But that being said, I'm grateful to have seen it, and a lot of the extra stuff has changed some of my opinions on things. So up to this point, I guess, like, I had really not liked August. Like, he's been one of my least favorite characters, but since he has been replaced, and he feels like it seems like he's shown genuine remorse for what he did to Wilhelm. doesn't mean I love him by any means, but it seems like he's genuinely trying to be a better person, and he genuinely seems to really like Sarah, and like they like each other, and it's just like every time they're on screen together now, like with episode 3 and 4, I'm like, dang, am I hating this kid less? Like, what is going on? Like, stop making me dislike this character less. Honestly, like, I want to dislike someone. And I guess now the character I can, gleefully dislike is Vincent, because he sucks butthole. It turns out whoever's in power in this situation is automatically an asshole. So all we needed to like August was for him to not be the top prefect anymore, and then we're Gucci. I don't know if I liked the rowing competition, but I liked that Simone quit, when Vincent's being a dickhole and just being like verbally abusive to the team. Obviously, people don't want to compete for that team anymore, right? But Simone, obviously, he didn't like rowing to begin with. He was only doing it for Willie. So that makes sense that he would quit. And it makes sense that they lost the competition. You don't put the 2 worst conditioned kids on the team in your top 6 spots for this competition. Like, it doesn't make sense. So makes complete sense that they lost. They might have been okay if Simone didn't screw up the transfer and Vincent wouldn't have fallen off. Who knows if that was actually Simone's fault, but now, glad we have the context for all that. We had the context of Simone being like, I don't want anything serious. And given the events of next episode where he makes out with Willie, I really think he needs to break up with Marcus. That would just be the most beneficial, to be like, yo, I still have feelings for this man's, and I kissed him. Speaking of after next episode, he needs to do that. What else? We have the context already of Wilhelm and Felice making out, and why he did that, and kind of the fallout, so to speak, of that situation. Like, I'm glad that in next episode there's no ill feelings between either one of them, right? Like, he explains why he did it, and she explains why she let it happen, and how they both feel moving forward, and they're both better off as friends now, and it's great. Big fan of that. I think my favorite part of this episode, though, specifically, was Wilhelm being willing to open up to the therapist. Right? That his one classmate tells him how his brother Eric went to see the therapist often, and I think that in itself was all he needed to hear to kind of like flip his whole perspective on talking to this guy, right? Like he almost, I don't know if deify is the right word, but he looked up to his brother so much, and he spent so much time trying to emulate him, and has had so much anxiety about not being able to live up to that standard that his brother set. Like, even before his brother died, he felt this way. And then his brother dies, and he that just compounds on itself. Like, he still feels all those things, even to a greater extent. Add on the grief and loneliness that he's feeling, because, right, his brother was one of the only people he felt he could talk to. It's just been a rough go of things, and he doesn't feel like he can talk to some random stranger about it. But therapists are excellent people to talk to because you can completely open up to them. They're not going to judge you for the things you're saying, because they know from a professional standpoint that this is completely normal for people to feel those things. And 2, they're not going to tell anyone, because if they do, they lose their job. Like, if it gets out that a therapist is actively, talking about the confidential things their patients are sharing with other people, then that therapist can no longer be trusted, and they lose their job. And even more so when it's talking about like the prince. If the royal family finds out that this therapist is spreading their son's secrets, that therapist never works again, right? Like, they don't ever have another therapy job in Sweden. They would have to move away to get another therapy job. Heck, the royal family could probably find a way to revoke his college degree, like his university degree in therapy, right? And so he would literally have to like enter a different field or like go back to school. So, but I really liked seeing Wilhelm open up about how lonely he's been feeling, and how in kind of like some of the height of his loneliness, he met Simone, and Simone kind of opened his eyes to different feelings and emotions, and he wishes he could go back to a time where he didn't know what it felt like to experience that sort of pain and longing for someone, both in terms of his brother, but also even more so romantically towards Simone. And I hope that in future episodes beyond episode 4, we see him talking more with the therapist. Like, I think him opening up to that therapist is a strong catalyst for more positive growth for him going forward. Now, we know August is next in line behind Wilhelm, so I'm curious to see, you know, how Wilhelm handles the princely duties that he's been assigned, right? Because up until this point, it seems like he was in a much more unsteady mental state, which might make it seem more realistic or more likely that he wouldn't be able to handle those princely duties. But now that he's talked to the therapist a little bit, and he's opened up a little bit, and he's feeling a little bit better, and with the events of next episode, making out with Simone, maybe that puts his mind in a more stable state, and he can handle being the prince. Or alternatively, maybe Wilhelm makes the active choice to give up being the prince in order to be with Simone. That would be a very interesting turn of events, and with them making August more sympathetic, it might make it a more palatable solution to the viewers when or if they make him the next king. So, I don't know, very interesting. Again, I liked this episode. I like the added context of having seen this episode now, so I'm not as confused about episode 4. Like, man, my whole like post-episode discussion for episode 4 is like pointless now. And I don't know if I want to like go and edit some PSA before that video, because it's already up on YouTube. Like, it's not public or anything. It's still unlisted, but it's up. You can technically watch it. So I don't know, man. Like, I feel like, I'll just leave it as is, and I'll put like a pinned comment or something being like, yo, my confusion is due to accidentally skipping an episode, and it's not my fault. It's Netflix's fault. Netflix colluded with my computer to sabotage me. So, who did this? We're all trying to figure out who did this. Like, oh man. I don't know. We'll see what happens in episode 5 is the next one I haven't seen. Last minute changes to the choir's Jubilee performance disappoint Simone. A therapy session leads to big revelations for Wilhelm. Okay, gang. So therapy will continue. We're pleased about that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I gotta say. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of this episode and next episode, I guess, because like we kind of have the knowledge of both of them at this point. So let me know what you think about episode 3 and 4. Love to hear all your thoughts. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel out a ton. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, or you just want to support me in general, consider checking out my Patreon. That's linked in the description below. But otherwise, Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.